Okay. Konnichiwa, minasan.
こんにちは。
I wanted to say Ohio, but I guess it's just Ohio for
Mm.
me. um,
Ohio is
today,
a relative state.
yeah, it's Ohio somewhere. Is it? I don't know.
I
Anyway,
think.
I'm gonna assume so. Today we're having another in-betweensy day. The next day of recording, we'll probably do a big chunk on verbs, so figured why not take some time to practice what we've learned the past couple of days. And for now, at least, we will be focusing on the arimas and imas verbs to describe existence, like there is something there, and where they're at. So,
Mm. If you ever want
as
to make an
I've
existential
done that.
novel, this is a great title, by the way.
Yeah.
Existence and
So this,
location.
yeah. This first slide is just going to go over some of our location words.
Hmm.
There's two ways that you can use these location words, and I'm meaning like ue, shita, mai, ushiro, stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, you can use either des or arimas. We'll be focusing on using arimas and imas for the sake of our exercises, but just notating that the format would basically function almost the same. The main thing to take away from this slide, though, are the location words themselves. So,
Okay.
can you read these for me?
Uh, Mida or Migi. Excuse me.
Migi,
Migi.
yeah,
For
Migi.
right. Hit
Uh huh.
character in what's it called? Um,
Uh,
Parasite. Parasite.
Parasite the
Yeah.
is it like Parasite the Maxim,
Yeah. That's the one.
or is it just Parasite? Okay.
Um, I mean, I guess whatever adaptation you're partaking in. Um, Hidari for left.
I
前 for in front,
そうですね.
and Ushiro for behind.
Yup.
Shita for below. Oh, I was looking at different places. Ue for above.
I didn't even mean to do this, but it's kind of nice how below is at the bottom, who
Yeah.
is at the top.
Strategic accident. And Aida for in between.
Yeah, this is highlighted for a reason, but we'll go into that in just a moment.
Okay. Do like the kanji for.
Yeah,
Naka. Yeah, I got you. I
get
see
her
what you're doing.
inside.
Naka for inside, and Tonari for near or next to, or yoko.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing with tonari is that tonari means like nearby. It's a lot of times interpreted as next to,
Mm-hmm.
but you could also use yoko for like immediately next to.
Okay.
I guess it kind of implies it's next to because it's nearby, but that's the distinction there. Early on, especially in like more elementary Japanese, you're not going to be ashamed if you use tonari when maybe it might be a little bit more accurate to use yoko. So don't worry about that too much. I just
Would
thought I'd mention it here.
Is the distinction that like yoko is like more literally physically next to as opposed to around with tonari?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
And soba, is that right?
Soba.
Soba. Oh, soba to the side of.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll hear this in anime a lot, like being next to one side or like a right-hand man kind of a thing.
Okay.
Definitely relevant in like romance anime where they're like, I'll always be by your side.
Okay.
You'll hear Soba
How
using those
sweet.
instances a
I
lot.
love soba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a couple of examples using des to illustrate at first, but like I said, we'll get into using it with arimas and imas by the end of it. But just the form of using these words to describe location is as follows.
Okay.
So we have, can you just go ahead and read it?
Sukue wa in this katakana
Yeah, this is sofa.
sofa. Sofu a?
Sofa. Yeah.
Okay.
So like when this is a small and
Okay.
when this follows a character, it changes the vowel sound completely. This is
Oh.
so that Japanese speakers can more closely match foreign words when
Mm.
like the sound does not naturally exist right?
Okay, that makes sense.
So because it'd be like so hya, which
Okay,
not the same thing, right?
okay.
Um,
Tsukue wa sofa no ushiro desu.
so this name. And going back to our format here, it is the landmark followed by no to connect it, and
Mhm.
then followed by our location word. So our landmark here is the sofa. Here's our no to connect it, and ushiro. So it is
Okay,
the desk is behind the sofa. It's a little backwards, kind of swinging, little pendulum sentence action here, but
interesting.
that's the idea there. Oh, and then I have the translation right there.
Very, very nice.
The next example is using IDA because we need a little more connective tissue to make that one work. What we need is the particle toll because we need to identify what two objects something is in between. So we have two landmarks in a sense. So as an example here,
Is it sofa again?
yeah, is also sofa.
Okay. Sofa wa terebi to tsukue no aida de.
Hey, so as you can see, we're still using this whole thing as our landmark, but because we're trying to mention it's in between two objects, we need to describe those two objects, hence the toll. So
Okay.
the sofa is between the TV and the desk.
Okay.
That's just what's being pointed out here with IDA. But otherwise, it follows the same format between landmark, parentheses landmark, null, location word.
Okay. I think I think that makes sense in my head. I'll probably need to practice more. It checks out.
Yeah, we'll get in some practice for sure. No worries. Any questions on the rest of these words so far, or like alternative
Uh,
interpretations if you have any?
I don't think I do. I think I'm good right now.
Okay. I remember having a conversation with my professor back in the day about tonari because I was asking about the localization of my neighbor Totoro because it's
Mhm.
tonari no Toro-kun,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we were just talking because she didn't honestly even have like an immediate answer, but we were just kind of speculating that it's kind of interesting that you could imply that they're the neighbor because they're next to you or
Yeah.
something like that. I think in the context of the movie, it makes sense to say neighbor because they're in the neighborhood. But speaking of it linguistically, we thought it was a interesting little localization there if we wanted to take it a little bit more literally.
Okay. Would you not refer to like a resident who lives adjacent to you with that normally?
I mean, there's a word for
Okay.
neighbor
But it
that
was
isn't
not that.
immediately coming to mind. Correct. That
Okay.
is tonari no Totoro-kun.
Okay, so it's almost like standing by.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's another one is the shoujo romance manga and anime My Little Monster,
Hmm.
which is Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun.
Okay.
Once again, that one's more like the monster next to me
Hmm.
versus neighbor or mine. So it's just a little interesting differences between
That is interesting.
localization and what is originally being said. But yeah,
Okay.
I get the vision.
I see it. It's all coming together.
Yeah. All right. We got exercise, but we'll return to that once we finish through these slides.
Okay.
So moving on to Aru. Now, what's been introduced has been the mas conjugated form arimas. This is the same thing basically, just conjugated, which we will talk about the next time.
Okay.
But we're running with the same thing here. So I mean, this is based off of Genki, so I mentioned it's just lesson 4. This is more specifically referring to the existence of something. So, there exists X, right? Um,
I have a
or I
pen.
guess
I have an
there
apple.
is a pen. A pen exists. And here's some conjugation notes that we won't really spend too much time on.
We have not yet
Um,
touched on like Godan Ichidan stuff, right?
yeah, that has not been
Okay.
discussed. nor will it be touched on until we take it upon ourselves.
Okay. Like my thought was like we haven't been doing those and just not referring to them. We just haven't touched them.
We just have not, right?
Okay.
But yeah, I guess the main thing to note is that the positive form is arimasu, and then the negative is arimasen. So there is not something.
Okay.
Our general form is just going to be the item that exists, the object that exists, or more technically the subject, followed by the particle ga, and then arimasu. Notice it is ga, not wa, because usually there is some other implicit subject involved in the sentence that we're not
I see.
really saying all the time.
Okay.
And I can mention some examples when we go through the exercise. I also just realized that the visual for the exercise, I can't write on it, so we might need to mess with the windows to see if we can figure that out.
Okay.
But we'll figure that out when we get there.
Cross that bridge soon enough.
Yeah. But here's our first example. Can you yonde kudasai?
Yeah. Shashin ga arima. Is a picture?
Mhm. Yeah. There is a picture, there is a photo.
I was gonna ask, like, is shashin specifically photograph, not just a general picture?
Um, yes. I guess it kind of depends on what would otherwise be a picture. Because if it's
Okay.
like a painting, that would be a different word.
Okay, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, because like I guess to me, picture and photo are largely synonyms, but yeah, I guess it
Like
depends
I
technically.
feel like in English for me, and I think Spanish as well. I think they are, but I'm like I maybe should decouple though for
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times in translations for like educational stuff, it'll be like a drawn picture or
Mhm.
drawing. So those are usually easy to parse enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Um, now to remind you, arimasu is specifically used for inanimate things.
Right.
This can also be used for concepts because arimasu is used together with other grammar structures to refer to concepts. So I just went ahead and made that note. Our main focus are going to be those inanimate, non-living objects.
Okay. So like when Batman, like Christian Bale is like, you can't kill me if I'm a concept. If I'm an idea, I'll live forever. He would be using Adu when referring to the Dark Knight.
Ooh, ooh! I've shown my hand. I don't. I
let's
don't know what cards I'd play there.
let's see where we go.
I want to see the Japanese subtitles in that one. um, but sorry, I got a little distracted by that.
No one's
But
ready for the Batman.
yeah, maybe I should do a little bit more prep because I forgot about this bit because this is
Okay.
important. But yeah, this means that we can also talk about when something takes place. So I don't think that they've used it this way with Akamonkai, but you can be like the exam, which I guess is an object, but
Okay.
not exactly. You could use this. You could use like a test with arimasu to say like when is it or there is a test, right? Like kyo wa testo ga arimasu. Like today there's a test. Yeah. Any questions for arimasu?
Right now, I think I'm good. I think I will need to see more examples, but we're good to proceed.
Okay. Oh, and here's my example. So kayobi ni testo ga arimasu. Um, yeah. What do I have here? I'm actually going to skip this slide because this hasn't really been talked about in Akamonkai, so don't worry about it. All right, so moving on to iru or imas. This is the same thing as aru, but this is the opposite of inanimate objects. This is for living and moving things. I'm just putting an emphasis on the living and moving because technically plants, as an example, are considered to be living things, right? Trees,
I remember this
you know,
delineation.
do this stuff. Yeah, but they don't really move on their own volition
This is what we
most
use
of the time.
for Bruce Wayne, not the symbol.
Yes, you see the bat symbol up in the sky. That's Adu. You see, you see Christian Bale out in the streets. That is Imas.
Very good. It's coming together.
Yeah. An easier way of categorizing it is just use it with people and animals.
All right.
That's the best way
If they
to
got
kind of lock
eyeballs,
it down.
probably safe.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just mentioned that example with plants. You would use arimas with plants. Here's some conjugation notes. So main thing to note: imas for positive, imasen for negative.
Okay.
But yeah, it follows our same exact structure with arimas. You have the subject, particle ga, imas. So, はい、読んでください.
Inu imasu.
Yeah, there
They're
is a dog. What the dog doing? Where's it at?
so governmentally.
I believe that they used it this way in one of the Akamonkai bits, but you can use this to say that you have siblings and pets. So, like, if I wanted to say I had three siblings, I could be like, kyodai ga 3人 imasu. There's a little asterisk on pets because I just was mentioning or wanted to mention here that technically there's a verb to own a pet, like very specifically to own a pet, but you can also very easily just say imas. So like if you have a
Probably
dog,
okay. I was gonna say you probably don't want
inu
to
ga imasu.
insinuate that you own your sibling unless you're making a very specific comment.
Yeah. Which would probably use a different
You
verb.
know, you slam dunk on him in basketball and like I own you. Maybe there's another way.
Yeah. Probably a different way. So the example for what I'm describing here, 私は弟がいます. I do not have a little brother, but maybe in an alternate universe I do. But because this isn't saying I like there is a younger brother, right? That wouldn't make a lot of sense. That's just where this other meaning could come into play
I
or
see.
will come into play. Just bases a little bit differently on context. Yeah, there is a younger brother.
Okay.
Yeah. Any notes, comments, concerns?
I'm breaking down that like I am there is a little brother bit, but I in that specific context it makes sense. I don't know if you would
Yeah.
use thing like a similar structure in other scenarios or not. Um,
Like do you have an example?
I'm trying to think of one, and that's the problem. I'm like that is I'm guessing fairly specific to like a familial relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't.
Yeah. I mean, you could use this to mention like what kind of people you have, like friends,
my
family
all my
members,
fellas.
roommates. Yeah, all
Oh,
my
okay,
fellas. That's just kind of what this is getting at here.
okay.
Now, in the first slide, we noted that you could use those like location words with des, um, even though we're going to be using it with arimas and imas. And when you think about it, you might be wondering what the difference is. And honestly, they kind of functionally are saying the same thing. So if we said like asoko ni, or I guess it would be like um, inu wa 机の下です. It is like the dog is under the desk versus 机の下に犬がいます. Those are linguistically kind of saying the same thing. You're communicating the same idea. Oh yeah, here's an example. So あそこにペンがあります. There is a pen over there, and then ペンはあそこです. The pen is over there. Like the structure is a little bit different, but functionally
Mhm.
we'd be saying the same thing. So if you
Okay.
ever get confused on like what you're actually saying and need a way to differentiate it, the best way to do so is think of like desk as describing describing a characteristic.
Oh, okay.
Um, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, but here's just it getting illustrated. So in the above example, the characteristic of the pin here in the pinwa asoko des is that it is over there. We are describing the pen using des.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
that does.
Versus if we were to say asoko ni pen ga arimasu, we are just stating the pen is over there.
Okay. I think I
Yeah.
have stumbled on this before because I've always internalized des as like the equivalent as like to be, which I guess isn't wrong per se, but this does help kind of delineate that a little better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that the easiest way to conceptualize early on the use of des is to be like is
Hmm.
in English, but when we start talking about where something is or the existence of something, that's where it gets kind of, muddy in the water. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to take a moment to point that out.
Okay. No,
Like,
that's helpful.
yeah, hopefully it's helpful. It's like honestly, this isn't something to be like to get too tripped up on because like I said, you're kind of saying the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if you choose one or the other, as long as you're saying it right, you're communicating the same thing basically. But this is the difference between the two.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't know where to put this in the previous slides, but I wanted to notate because this is definitely going to be relevant. Um, but yeah, because we're using arimas and imas to describe like the location of something, we need to follow the location by the particle ni. So our example here, tsukue no ue ni pen ga arimasu. So the ni here is our particle to notate the location of something.
Okay. And you're not putting a ni after like each, I guess, noun in that sentence. You're only doing it after like the compounded no version of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. If
Okay.
you want to group these up, you might want to put brackets around this whole phrase here. I guess that's one way you can look at it, like a location phrase,
Hmm.
if you will. And then that, because like this is the whole location,
Right.
right? Yeah, then ni pin ga arimasu. I don't think I mentioned it in this PowerPoint, but ni is also still used here to describe time,
Okay.
like specific time. So if let's see if I can go back easily enough. What did I do here? How did I hit A?
Mm.
Uh,
Microsoft A
okay.
or Nintendo A? It's tricky.
I don't know. Google A, Google
Oh
A. I
no.
don't know. But where is it here? Yeah. So, in this example, uh, so kayobi ni,
Mhm.
the ni here is once again specific time,
Okay.
followed by the kayobi, right?
Is it?
So,
You can shut me down real quick if it is not. But
okay.
is it helpful to think of in like a Newtonian physicsy kind of way to be like, well, spaces and time are both locations, if you will, or is it better to keep them separated?
That's an interesting way to put it, because I was going to say that like ni is largely referred or used with like locations and time.
Mhm.
You just got to be careful because de is also location
Okay,
for other
okay.
verbs,
Yeah, that
you
does make
know.
sense.
So with arimas and imas, time, space.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just want to make sure you differentiate that between de, which is like at, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we got one main exercise here. Let's see if I can do one of these, and if we can
I,
see it
I was
well
gonna
enough,
say
that'd be
if you can get
awesome.
it in one note as like a screenshot, you can probably draw right. You're
Well, I
already
was
on the
wanting
same
to,
wavelength.
yeah, I was wanting to write out what we're saying here,
Oh, okay.
right? So let's see here. What's a good font size? 24.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I think
I made a little bigger. Let's enhance.
enhance. This is the one time you can do that is when you have roster elements like a excuse me, vector elements like a font and not roster stuff. That's my CS knowledge of the day.
Uh, Thank you, Sensei. I don't know what that means, but I take your word for it.
I guess speak only truth.
Okay, so we're going to be combining pretty much everything that was in those slides. So we're going to be using arimas and imas to describe things and like where they're at, and using our location words to be a little bit more specific. So As an example here, we can say, onna, please.
Mhm.
Onna no hito. Oh man, I need coffee. Onna no, onna
It's
no
earlier than
hito
we
wa
normally do these, fellas.
hoteru
Oh,
no mae ni imasu.
that's kind of saucy. Uh,
So, the woman, onna no hito wa hoteru no mae ni, in front of the hotel, yeah, in imas, because imas is used for people and animals. Arimas is used for the rest.
I was misreading this. I think purely as a consequence of this being in hiragana, and I was like, the woman's man is in front of the hotel, and like it's got the binocular imagery, and I'm like, oh, there's some tea here.
Yeah. I what always cracks me up with Genki is it like I like to think of it that like the lore behind the student that is going through Genki is that they are actually a private eye,
Mm,
and but they're hired by like a Japanese person, and so they're needing to learn Japanese to study their targets.
interesting. I
because
like this framing device.
because there's some exercises that you learn some spicy details that and like kind of intrusive, and you like ask about it in a somewhat intrusive way that's just like, why are you trying to find out this information? It's like, probably because you're getting paid.
You have a vested interest
that's
in this.
that's my Genki headcanon. Because like you learn a lot of details about like Mary and Takashi, because like they end up dating, but they end up breaking up, and you know
Oh
why.
man.
And like, are we friends with these people? I don't think they know who we
I mean,
are.
like
Why are we privy?
this image in and of itself, like in isolation, I think really reinforces what the headcanon is right now.
Yeah. So, if you're going through Genki and you're like, man, this is kind of boring, maybe add in this little
A
headcanon. It
little
might spice
spice
up
of
your
life.
studies just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I practice piano. Like sometimes I don't want the piano sound. I want an ocarina sound, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
enough to spice up
Or
spice up the day.
a rear computerized cat. You know how it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so
Oh Nanohito wa.
using our example here, let's go ahead and describe some things. Um,
Would it
I think I
be
can ask.
would it be cheating
What's
to have like a glossary of the location words nearby?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Maybe I don't put the. I'm trying to figure out
Like the
where to
English
put it too.
equivalent beside it, so we still have to
Yeah,
problem solve a little bit.
yeah. Let me add a little box down here. And then if it just turns out I need to delete some of the previously said examples, so be it. Not that big of a deal. So we
Okay.
have migi, hidari, shita, ue. Um, Maybe I'll make a table. 1 second. Just for spacing purposes. Come here. Um, we have tonari, and I know I mentioned like yoko, but we'll just stick with tonari. Yeah. Aida, um, ushiro, and mai. I believe that's it. Let me double check. Mai, ushiro, shita, naka.
Okay.
Okay. Where do I want to put that naka? Don't go over. Oh, I can't just tap over there. We'll put naka here.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a little reference sheet. But yeah, we'll need a little legwork to make sure we recall what is being said, or rather, what each one means. Okay. So, and I don't even know if there's an example here that we could use Naka. 'Cause like sometimes there's like a cafe inside another building in some of these exercises, but I don't really see that here. So
If
probably won't
not,
be using that one.
we could probably come up with something quick.
Yeah.
But for this one, my is front.
I
Okay. Um so the woman is in front of the.
yes. And I'll ask about specific things, and that way, you'll know what to be prompted to answer
Okay,
for.
I see.
Okay, so to start things off, we'll have the koen. Koen is park. 公園はどこにありますか?
And would the way that I respond be like um whatever ga arimasu?
So it's going to be describing. Yeah, we can, even though you normally will want to reduce redundancies. Why don't we go ahead and say the full thing using all the particles with ni and ga? So we'll be reiterating the subject, which would be like colon here. Um, but yeah,
All right. In that case, um that's a post office front of it, right?
yeah, and if
Postal.
this kind of helps, an alternate, like probably what you'll be saying is more closely to this. So hoteru. Actually, I'm gonna redo this first example. So if
Okay.
I were to ask, um, uh, let's see here, hote, ホテル の前に誰がいますか?
Okay.
The response could be like, 女の人 ホテルの前に女の人がいます. Something like that.
Okay.
I think this would be a more natural way of replying to this question, but I'm still probably going to ask where something is, but I would like you to respond using this format.
Okay. Um
Yeah.
what would I open with posto no and I guess next question, how would I describe it? Would I want to say bye or it is, yeah, I guess that's
Um,
open to
we want to
interpretation.
describe the park, so
Oh, okay,
we'll
okay. So
want a
the
different
park
reference for
being
that.
behind
Yeah.
okay. Um Cohen. Wow.
Or we'll
Oh
we'll
yeah, yeah,
we'll
that's
follow
right.
here. So we need the location.
Okay. Behind.
And we need our
I
reference location as where.
say that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we also need our location to serve as the reference point.
Okay. Would I open with and in that first one we're saying the hotel is front. No.
Yeah, we're saying the woman is in front of the hotel.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The syntax I'm struggling with. Um.
Yeah, that's why I want to focus on this
Yeah.
one
That's
instead
right.
of responding to
That's
this question
that
directly. This
that
is a
makes
little
sense.
awkward. This is for the
Yeah.
sake of practice. Yeah.
No. It makes sense why this needs to be practiced. Um. Okay. I should start by describing the post office, correct?
Yeah, the location.
Okay.
And in post office is going to be Yubin Kyoku.
You being
Let me see if I
Kyoku.
can.
I was
Right.
just gonna go with postal, but I don't actually.
Yubin Kyoku. I believe that's how it's
Kyoku.
spelled. Let me totally not do this off screen.
Power of the dual display.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's you being kyoku. Yeah, just u- okay. You big oo. Okay.
Yubin Yoku. Ushiro in front.
My is front.
Mine is front. Okay, okay. I was trying to invert what I was saying before. I guess that's not accurate. Um, my ni
Okay.
uh koen ga imasu.
Imas is used for
Oh,
people and
anime
such.
things arimasu.
I um so my means in front, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this would be saying the park is in front of the post office.
Okay, okay. So we do want to invert that.
We do want to invert that.
Okay. We would just be inverting like the locations. The rest of the sentence would stay the same.
Different word. May not want to use my.
Okay, okay,
Maybe we want to say behind.
okay. Um, Aris
There's
Aida.
something in your brain that clicked earlier, and that I want to figure out how that happened.
The brain is mysterious. I wish I had better
Yeah,
explanations of how I worked.
because you went ushiro, and that would be correct.
Okay. I was all right. I think I can explain this one because I was like, I want to say effectively the opposite of what I said in the first sentence. So my being in front, but then I confused myself about the order of the syntax. Right. So I'm like, I guess I don't want to say that. And then I was second guessing, like, was that even the right one to begin with?
It would have been.
Shoot. Okay. Um, Yubin Kyoku Ushiro ni koen ga arima.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the park is behind the Yubin Kyoku. And also, just to illustrate, because like this is a long stretch, this
Yeah.
is what it would look like in kanji.
I think every now and then, especially for foreigners like us, we need the kanji sales pitch to be like, they this is why it exists.
Yeah, because like this is a whole block, and you would just be able to read that on its own. This is a whole block, particle, whole block, ga arimasu. Because like once again, you really won't see hiragana spaced out. So
Mhm.
yubin kyoku no ushiro ni koen ga arimasu.
Something to be said.
Like kanji is complicated,
Kanji
but
is complicated.
this is a giant worm of a sentence.
I think
So
I just like on that idea of like that visual efficiency. Like there's something to be said because like quite regularly, if like you read a lot about like video game dev history, there's like a constant battle with like text heavy games being like, well, like you could just say a lot more in the space with like Japanese characters than you could if you're put romanized characters. So the story has to be simplified just because we can't fit that much
mhm.
on there. And I'm like, this is how that happens. If like early games were hiragana only, maybe that would not be true. But
Yeah.
it seems
In,
it is.
Now that I think about it, though, the one example where you would see the spaced out are going to be Pokemon games. Now that I think about it,
But
but those
like,
are also made for children.
yeah, I was
So
gonna say like I think like the modern ones like have many more. Like I think you can have like Furigana in
I
business
believe
up
so.
there.
Yeah.
And I think they have Hiragana only modes, but I think that's like a specific concession to be. This is a text heavy game for a particularly young audience relative to like a Final Fantasy Q, a Dairy Queen.
Yeah, because I remember I tried playing one of the early Fire Emblem games, and immediately was
Oh
like, I
yeah,
can't read any of
yeah.
this,
Like
and I quit.
it's funny to me because I feel like when I think about like how like vocabulary is treated, especially in like media like games, like I feel like it's like fairly ubiquitous. Like, like once you're like 10, like pretty much you could play anything. It's just a matter of the content. But like I'm like, oh no, like the language involved is like like
Yes.
I was seeing someone like play the start of like an SMT game, and like the language used was like immediately archaic, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're gonna language learners don't dabble here. You don't
Yeah,
belong yet.
exactly. Okay.
Anyway,
So let's go to our new example sentence. And also the reason I didn't want to follow saying like a natural sentence to have it followed by like this format is just because it would give away this.
yeah, right,
And I don't want to
right.
do
Okay.
that. Okay. Let's see here. ホテルはどこにありますか？そう、ホテルはどこにありますか？
And we're asking like what is near the hotel? Found it?
Oh, we're asking where is the hotel?
Okay, doko. I was thinking about, and this is probably not related to this, but that like the language that you would use to like list one of multiple. Oh, this is probably about to. I was set off on the wrong. Um, where? How would I say it? I guess I could go between the restaurant and the
Sure.
that was Naka for right?
Naka's inside.
Naka's inside. Okay. Um Onari is like
Hmm.
right. That's below Ue above. One of these is in between, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
much the last one you haven't mentioned.
I get yeah, Ida then, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
meant yeah, I didn't mention it because it's the one I was the least confident about, which process of elimination, I guess.
Yeah, that's how it works.
All right. Okay.
And this one will need a little bit of legwork because we need to mention the
Couple the
things it
bits.
is in between. Right. So I
So
mean, you said it in English. It is between the restaurant and the post office. So
mhm,
we'll need that connective tissue.
okay. Um that connective tissue comes initially before the particle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um Restaurant or Yubin Kyoku. And by now put a knee there.
We need to serve this as our anchor point for the IDA.
Okay.
And so now that we've kind of done oops, I was writing
Brackets.
English. Yeah, now that we've kind of set up this whole phrase, well, I guess I described this a little bit differently, but above, we didn't have to do this toll business.
Mhm.
We were just able to go straight into the
Okay.
no reference word, right? So that's where this would come in now.
Okay. So now it would be safe to drop the no in there.
Yes.
Okay. There's something hit me about you saying yes while the words no came on screen. um, so, Aida ni. Um, guess what we're actually the hotel is what we're actually talking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hoteru ga arimasu.
I before I mentioned that this can trip people up because so like we're so used to saying wa as our main particle
Yeah.
here to describe our topic or subject. And I mentioned that there's largely going to be an implicit subject in a lot of these cases. And
Mhm.
what I meant by that is like our implicit topic. Our implicit topic would kind of be like machi wa. So like as the town goes, as far as the town, the where is it? The hotel is in between the restaurant and the post office. So
Okay.
that's just kind of what I meant by there's a lot of times going to be an implicit subject. If that kind of helps
Okay.
eliminate the need for wa.
All right. I did.
In this structure though.
Yeah. That makes sense to me because I like while I was like trying to frame things, I was looking at the question sentence. I did have the thought like, there's a Y in there. Do I get
Yeah.
it back here? I'm like, I think no, and I guess
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
on the right train
we're
of
doing
thought.
this a little weird,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I think I was right for the wrong reasons. However, I wasn't thinking about like the
Yeah.
town being the subject of. I think we've already covered our Y up top.
Yeah, but that's just what's kind of going on underneath the hood and why we won't need all the time in these sentences.
Okay.
Um, let's see here. We'll do uhスーパーはどこにありますか? And let's try and use a different word than um Ida and tonari.
Okay.
So let's use something else.
Um. F. I about my perspective is getting called into question. I feel like.
Yeah,
Yes.
where are
Yeah.
these guys? Where are these peeping folks?
Yeah. I guess supermarket is in front of them. Would that make sense, or would it make more sense to use the other buildings for?
Yeah, let's use it. Let's use a building there.
Okay.
Maybe we have an informant on the ground. Maybe this guy over here. We're giving
Okay.
him, we're whispering in his ear instructions on where to go.
Okay. This handsome otoko no hito right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the kaban.
All right. Bag with strap. Otoko no
Orange
hito.
bag.
Wow. And let's say that bit would be
Oh,
implicit in my response, right? In this case.
uh, no,
No,
that was just to be
because the
fun.
supermarket is.
We're
Okay.
talking
Okay.
about the supermarket.
That's right. That's right.
We're kind of talking about the town,
Mhm.
but
Machiwa is
so
the implicit bit. We are talking
yeah,
about the
yeah.
supermarket from the perspective of bag with strap. Um, okay. um, I if I wanted to say something is to the right, do I still need to include something else for reference or
Yes.
okay,
Well, I mean, for the sake of practice here, yeah.
okay. Um,
Sorry, don't get too caught up on the fact that we're giving him instructions. That was
okay.
just
All right, all
that
right.
was just for fun.
All right. Yeah, let's just say it's to the right of the restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, how did I? How did I? Um,
So we need our anchor.
open with reference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, restaurant. Migi. Wait, not yet, not yet, right? No migi ni.
I
Um, I guess we just go super ga
はい。そうですね。レストランの右にスーパーがあります。正解です。Okay. Do 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 do. Isha. Is it Isha? No. Isha. So the doctor.
okay.
医者はどこにいますか?
Is this the same question effectively as before, just different location?
I'm at
Dokoni,
yeah.
dokoni.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm basically asking the same thing each time.
Okay. Um, Let's say it is behind the library.
Okay.
Ushiro was behind. Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, 図書館の後ろに医者があります。
Can you read the question?
Am I referring to the doctor himself or the doctor's office?
The doctor.
Okay. Then imas.
はい。はい。医者がいます。正解。図書館の後ろに医者がいます。はい。はいはいはいはいはい。
I thought about asking this beforehand, or I was like, yeah, it's probably not super real. But like I didn't notice that there was a physical doctor there because I was just looking at
Oh,
buildings.
yeah, sorry.
So I was
There's a
like,
little guy
would
here.
you just say like the doctors in like reference to the location? But that was completely oblivious to the idea. They're like, no, he's there.
Okay. Let's see here. 銀行。銀行はどこにありますか？
They left of
は
um
い。
what's the native word for cafe? Because I know you can say like cafe, but it was another one. Nothing.
はい。
Okay.
And there, it's not necessarily that this is just the older way of saying it. It does feel like, at least in the modern age, a kisaten will refer to a slightly different kind of place. It's like there is coffee. It is kind of like a cafe,
Mhm.
but it's almost like a diner, but not like a
Oh.
family restaurant that you've seen in like
So not like a
in
Denny's
anime and stuff.
equivalent, but closer to that than a
Right.
Starbucks?
Actually, Starbucks would be a great example, to be honest, because they do a lot of other things there than just coffee. Like if
Okay.
you got a bunch of like
Yeah.
snacks, and food stuff, that would often be kisaten.
Okay.
You will honestly be totally fine just saying cafe. I'm
Okay.
gonna be real with you, chief. But if you
All
needed
right.
a way to distinguish the two, that's what it would
Okay.
be.
And like, is there a difference in the types of food that they serve? Like, or is it just like, well, there is, you can get like a sandwich thing.
You know, I'm I'm not entirely too sure. That's just uh what Japanese Stack Exchange kind of mentioned.
All right. Don't let me derail it too much then. Uh, I guess I'm um
Sure.
um. だって左銀行
質問を読んでください. 質問 is the question.
What's the question?
Could you read the
Oh,
question?
Yonde. Okay. 銀行はどこにありますか？
はい。でも、言いますと言いました. You said 言います. This would be
Oh, I'm
あります.
sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry, you've heard me mix up the two all the time in both the day we went over this with Akamonkai and today so far. I still get these tripped up.
There's like the test taker Christmas tree logic where it's like I've already said emails for the last one. He's trying to trick me, so I'm gonna go with the opposite.
I'm not trying to
He's not trying to trick me.
exam you.
I have trust issues. It looks like with tests.
Sometimes I'll do that, but you gotta pay attention to that last verb.
Okay.
And also what we're describing, right? So
Okay.
arimasu, inanimate things, imasu for the living folks here.
Okay.
Okay. What have we not described yet? Um, I don't think this is brought up in the Akamonkai vocab yet, so I'm gonna write it down here. Bus stop is bus 10.
Okay.
Bus 10? Oh man. Bus te. Sumimasu,
Okay.
sorry. I knew that was
Mima,
wrong.
sorry.
Bus te.
Is 10 isolation also stop?
Let's see here. Yeah, it is the kanji for um halt or stopping.
Okay. Um.
Although the kunyome gives tomeru and tomaru, which is the verbs to stop or to stop something, but you would use a different kanji for those verbs, so that's interesting.
Okay.
Talking to myself. Anyway, so
Anyway.
basu. I'm just gonna have to keep the kanji there because that's annoying to go back. Basute wa doko ni arimasu ka?
Okay. And I'm trying to use a location way that I haven't used. Otherwise, I think I would describe it as bank and cafe. Um.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna
Have
really
we
be able to
run the
use
gamut
shita and
already?
ue.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these three we can't really use here.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Unless we've got planes in the equation, I suppose. Um, planes and underground subway. Um,
Yeah.
and I start with the two other locations and then give it the no treat, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So if I guess before I was asking about the doctor's office, if I wanted to say hospital, what's the word I would use?
That would be byoin.
Yoin. Okay. Um.
And be sure that you don't say byoin, because that's like a salon, like a hair salon.
Oh. I'm dying. Take me to the salon. Very different people, different demographic. Yoin to inko no.
I feel like there's a lot of space in between those two reference words. We might want to be a little bit more specific.
You know what? You know what? I'm saying the hospital. I should say the cafe. Um, probably. Um,
Yeah.
Ginko to. Let's do the opposite. Cafe no. What did I do? I didn't immediately. Oh, I need the direction and then
Hmm.
Aida ni arimasu.
何がありますか?
Oh, sumimasen. Basute
はい。あ
forgot.
ります。はい。銀行とカフェの間にバス停があります。So there is, because like yeah, this question is asking where is the bus, but
Mhm.
we're technically replying there is a bus stop between the bank and the cafe.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I think that about describes this picture as much as we can kind of change it
Yeah.
up. So we can just do exercise B and dox you a little bit.
Mm.
Um, so I'm just gonna get rid of this. Can you? This text is kind of crunchy. Is
I'll do
this
my
is this
best.
legible? I can write it out each time too. So So we'll go with number one.
I think it's
Oh, I'll
less
have
a
to type this
concern
out.
about like the crunchiness and more like it's a font I'm not used to looking a lot at yet, which is a whole other like problem, I guess. Um,
Yeah. Uh, enhance.
Anata no machi. Oh, it's below. I didn't even. Um, Anata no machi ni Nihon no. Uh, is that restaurant?
Hmm?
Restaurant ga arimasu ka? Is there a Japanese restaurant in my town?
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Yeah. Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Um. Answer. I mean, I'm trying to think of the place. Place's actual. It was like no Butato Okami. Name of the place. We went there. They had
Uh,
katsu and cheese.
I think it's Kabuto.
Kabuto. Okay.
Um,
I
yeah,
guess I don't have the
Kabuto and
language.
Okami.
I was like, I guess I don't have the vocab to be like this place is called such and such.
Yeah, we can't really say that.
So I guess I'm just saying like yes, there is Jeff. And
Yeah.
I do I want to give it the full response or should I just come in and be like, yep, there is.
Yeah, you can say that. The
Okay.
latter.
Um, I just hi imas. Is that it?
Hey,
Maska.
もう一度よ読んでください。
あります。
Yes.
All right. I mean,
And
they
we can
got
go back and
soul
forth
over there. They got
between.
soul in this stuff.
Yeah. And why don't, just to make this a little bit more conversational, what if
Okay.
I mean, we live in the same place, so we're not going to learn anything. But what if we went back and forth asking each other these questions?
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and ask number two then.
Okay.
So,ラフさんの家に猫がいますか？
Oh, that's my house. That's my. I'm thinking of like what directional word is that? Hi. Neko ga imasu.
はい、猫がいます。そうですね。シーザーと言い
Caesar.
ますね。
Petito Caesar.
リトルシーザ
Little
ー。
shisha.
はい。
All right. And I'm hitting. Um. Anata no. I'm
Instead of
struggling.
あなた, we'll just say my name.
Okay. Jimmy no. And here I am struggling with crunchiness.
Yeah, there's gakko.
Okay. Gakko ni nani ga arimasu ka?
Okay, and what is this asking, real quick?
Is there a school? Oh, no. In
Mm.
your school, not
Uh-huh.
your school.
Right. Right.
Uh, am I just asking what it's like?
What is this question word on its own?
Um, what? Right?
Yes.
All
So
right.
this is, you might be overthinking this. This is
Yeah.
literally just saying, what is there at your school?
Oh, okay. I am overthinking it. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do I qualify this? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
What it be?
So, yeah. So 学校に図書館や、カフェや、何があるの？um,
Uh,
教室教室があります。
and yeah
So
is one
it's
word. giving the selection, right? Like, yeah, there's a few things.
Yeah, it's like there's things such as it is a non-existent list. So I'm
Okay.
not just saying that there is only a library and a cafe and a classroom or classrooms, but there's things like library, things like cafe, and things like classrooms.
I think that the first time I've seen Kyoshitsu show up outside of start of a video lesson. It took me a second.
I was trying to figure out a word to say. I was like,
Yeah.
what other kind of buildings are there? Okay, 3번
All right.
お願いします. Or I guess I'll ask that one.
Okay.
Or 4번. Um, hmm. Is this even relevant? I'll change this up. So,
Okay.
ラフの会社、会社に, where is it? 日本人の会社員がいますか?
Is my office a Japanese office?
日
Or
本
are there
人
Japanese people in my office?
No, yeah. So 会社員 is like office worker.
Okay, okay.
And then yeah, the gene here is notating like a Japanese person.
I guess like if we're localizing it, you have Japanese staff at your office.
Pretty much.
Okay. Hi. And they have souls, and eyes, like Bruce Wayne. Imas.
And yeah, we'll leave it there. Never mind. I was gonna add
Okay.
another detail, but
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
we'll leave it.
I hope I haven't said too much already.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay, はい。5番読んでください.
Okay.
If you do the best of your ability.
Yeah, shoot. That second character, is that an end or an extension?
Yeah. What are the other characters around it that might help?
Okay. All right. We've got a knee before the particle knee, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Annie or Danny?
This whole thing. This
Okay,
is one
but
word.
yeah, but like immediately to the left of like the Katakana.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that is B and then
E.
ni.
Beanie. Well, probably Konbini.
はい。はい。
Um,
コンビニ.
Konbini ni nani ga arimasu ka? And are we asking just if you have a convenience store or what's in there or what it's like? Like
Yeah,
the
because
nani in this case. Yeah, go ahead.
because the knee here is notating like the location. So it's
Okay.
like, and this is why, it's you kind of need to make sure you're differentiating between like when to use de and ni, because if we wanted to translate this, this would be like what is in or at the convenience store.
I see.
Yeah.
So
Um.
if this was exactly the same sentence, but the ni was a de, what would that meaning change to?
Well, we couldn't use that here.
Okay, you
That's
just can't.
the
Okay,
problem. Yeah, with adimas and imas in these
I see.
cases.
Okay.
You just would not use that.
Okay, cool.
And actually, because I've already done a sentence like this, I'm gonna ask you this. Konbini ni nani ga arimasu ka?
Okay. I just asked this, but we're asking what's there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Eh. If I am like enumerating some of the items there, would I also use ya in that same way? If I was like, there's
Yeah, that's where
coffee,
you
there's pizza.
yeah.
Okay. So let's
That's where you
say
would want to use ya.
okay. Kohi ya. That is that how I want to start it? Is that reasonable?
Mm-hmm.
Kohi ya.
Oop.
Pizza ya. Sando ya. It is for like soda. This is kind of on the fringes. Um, oh, would is that a loan word? Would you say like soda or? You know what? You would probably say cola. You would cola.
I think you would say cola.
Okay. Cola, yeah. And then what I if I'm like ending that, what I treat it the same as everything else with like every non-sentient thing with a ga arimasu.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and noting when using ya after the last item you're listing, you won't use ya. You'll just
Oh,
go
okay.
how's it spelled? Kora crap. Kora ga arimasu.
Kind of like English comma rules.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
はい。もう一度読んでください.
Uh,
Can you read this whole
okay.
thing?
コーヒーやピザやサンドやコーラがあります。
はい。Um, yeah, it makes sense for me to ask the next question.
Okay.
And we'll have to be a little imaginative, but it should be fine.
I see.
Okay. この教室、この教室に誰がいますか?
And dare is where as opposed to what, which is what we've been doing before, right?
うん。どこ is where.
Doko is where. Dare is who?
はい。
Okay. um um oh, are we asking who is in my class?
Who's in, yeah,
Okay.
it's saying like this classroom because you're probably doing
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
at a
Assuming
school.
in a
But
university.
so imagine if you were in a classroom, who would be
Okay.
there?
Sensei, of course. Um, Sensei. Uh, yeah, I guess that.
Yeah. Now, similarly to yeah, if we wanted to be exhaustive,
Mm-hmm.
and mention all
Students
the
and the
people that are in there.
teacher.
Yeah, let's say that. Let's say the teacher and students are in there.
Gakusei or Sensei ya Gakusei or Sensei
Well,
to Gakusei. If I'm just doing two.
hi. Yes.
Okay.
Oop. Yeah. And like this is one of those things where it's like gakusei or like nouns
Mm-hmm.
contextually can be singular or multiple.
That's right.
It does not just mean one on its own. So keep that in mind. So we are saying there is a sensei, or there if there's multiple,
Mm-hmm.
depends. Um, and there are students.
Okay.
はい、先生と学生がいます。
All right. If you're doing the like illustrative ya situation where we're not let's say we're assuming sensei or not sensei students are plural here, would we need to treat the ya any differently if it was I guess
No,
not, because like if we're talking like the
it's still
convenience store
contextual.
example, yeah, like if there's probably more than
Hmm.
one pizza and cola still. I guess that makes sense.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Um, if you need me to read the next one for you, let me know. But I 7番読んでください. I'll just tell you. This
No,
is
no, no, I think I got it. I
動物園.
got shoot.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Because of Animal Crossing. Because of Animal Crossing.
Oh man. All
Dobutsu
right.
no
Well, I'm
Mori. All right,
sorry.
it's okay. Uh, Dobutsu ni nani ga imasu ka?
Yeah. Um, interestingly enough, when you get there, this N is the same as in Koen. So it is the
Oh,
animal
the
park.
animal park. That's so cute.
Yeah. 動物園に何が so I'm gonna say saru for that's monkey. Yeah. Zol, that's elephant.
That's a One Piece arc about an elephant. I want you to know that.
Really?
Yeah. There's like a giant elephant with a society on top of it.
Oh, that's kind of sick. So, 猿や象や、蛇、はい、がいます。あ、が、
Oh,
oops.
that's right. That's right.
はい、読んでください。
あなたの
い
国。
やいや、すみませ
Oh,
ん。
oh, be
こ
okay,
の、
okay.
この、
すみません。
はい、
Um, 猿や象や蛇がいます。
はい、はい、はい、はい、はい、はい。I don't like number 8,
All right.
so we're gonna skip that one. Uh, I just don't know what we'd be saying there
All
that
right.
would
Yeah,
we
yeah.
haven't kind of already used. So ラフのうちに何が何がありますありますか
My house. What's in my house?
Yeah.
All right. Got they got ゲームやプレイステーションや Xbox や um what would be a reasonable uh not a freak's answer. um, um
We got some furniture words that
yeah, yeah, that's a
I think you'd be
furniture
able to
word.
use.
Furniture words are good. Um I've got a desk, I'm at it right. Sukue ya. Um furniture. Would
I would
I want to
consider a
use
television.
teburu? Oh, terebi. Yeah, terebi ya. For table, would I want to use teburu or would I want something else?
Yeah, I usually say table.
Okay. I guess that's teburu ga. Um,
はい。
you know what's in a
I was
house, bro? Oh god, desks. So many TVs. That's a
so
plural
many
one. If you
TVs.
don't know me.
はい、もう一度読んで
Okay.
ください。
はい。ゲームや机やテレビやテーブルがあります。
はい、はい、そうですね。Okay. Um, I think that about rounds up all the practice that we uh, can really go for now with Arimas and Imas.
All right. We're at like
How
an
are you
hour 20
feeling?
now, but I'm feeling good about it.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. It's been going on longer than I thought, so we won't go on to the next thing then. That's fine.
Okay.
The only other thing that I was thinking of was like practicing using like ski, kirai, and jozu
Oh,
heta as like verbs and stuff,
okay.
but some other time.
There on the like Josu Heta conversation, there is like a
Okay.
relationship between that and like the direction words. They're not?
Not I mean, as far as I can immediately think of,
Okay.
um, like how could you elaborate on that question?
This might be like a kanji only thing. If I'm
Okay.
thinking of it right in the first place. But in my mind, I thought there was like
Yes.
an
Yes,
underhanded,
there
like
is.
overhanded kind of like
You are correct. So Jolzu is yeah, exactly as you said, upper hand, and then Heta is the opposite, lower
okay,
hand.
yeah, it is. When you're good
Yep.
at something, you got the top hand up on. Doing something you're unskilled at it, you got the low hands.
Yeah. Exactly. And continuing on the kanji propaganda, this is
Mm,
why I like kanji. This is one of the cool things that like helps reinforce like vocabulary too, because it's just like, yeah, that's a fun little way of thinking about it
mhm.
and makes it easier to kind of draw that association between Jozu. I mean, the sound of it, maybe not, but just the kanji itself to the word. So,
I'm feeling a little Josie right now with that one. I won't lie to you. That was good for my self
そう
esteem.
ですね。そうですね。日本語が上手ですね。
Oh, so that
はい。 Okay,
I
yeah.
shouldn't compliment myself too much. That's very un-Japanese of me.
まだまだですよ. Hi. Any questions? Any lasting questions for the first exercise using our location references?
Just to have them on screen for
Okay.
the direction words. Can we run them down and put the English beside them? So
Yeah.
if I wanted to screenshot that and take a look. So this is right, right? Let me guess at these. Um, right and left, right?
Yep.
Correct. That's below.
Yep. Or under.
Okay, and ue is above or up.
Yeah, above or on top.
Okay. Um, naka inside.
Correct.
Okay. Honari around.
Yeah, we'll say like near
Okay.
or next to. It's down below here.
Okay. Ida in
Mm-hmm.
ushiro behind.
Hi.
Okay, cool. And then Mai in front of.
Mm-hmm.
Ushido and
Hi.
Mai,
Say
I'm
kindness.
less confident about, but we saw them a lot in this exercise. Helped.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because like a part of me wants to be like, yeah, and then once you start learning the kanji, it's so much easier to remember. I'm like, wait, but that's when you learn the kanji. There's
That's when
not
we, yeah. We'll
there's
see where we fall
no
there.
association there.
I'm I'm
That's
coming
just because
around
what
to
I'm used to
kanji.
seeing.
Me personally, I don't know if our viewers will feel the same just yet. Um, but I see where it comes in. It could be fun.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to put here? Then we have our extra
Oh,
reference
that's right. That's right.
words. Oh,
Yeah.
let's run through
Let's do the
these real
same thing.
quick.
Yubin Kyoku. What was that? That was post office.
Yeah.
Um, Yo- Kisate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's
I
hi
was
hi hi.
forgetting the rules.
Saten.
Um, the other cafe type, the
Yeah.
Japanese
Cafe
cafe.
diner.
I'm not sure. Um, bus stop.
Hi.
Yoin, not salon, but doctor's office or
Yeah.
hospital.
Or
Hospital probably.
hospital. Yeah. Because I think you could say like clinic for like a clinic.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm gonna add.
You said clinic and you said it romanized, but what I heard was kuri niku, and I'm like, what kind of meat is that?
And then just to throw this in,
Okay.
because you'll want to learn these words at some point. We have saru, zo, hebi. What are these animals?
All right, I'm gonna throw in the abstract reason why these are familiar. If it's helpful for anyone, probably not. But there's an animation studio. They animated Devilman Cryberry. Their name is Science Saru. They got a science gorilla or a monkey for their logo. So there's a monkey. Zoe, we have the One Piece arc that takes place on top of the big elephant. And
Perfect.
in Super Smash Brothers, there's a very underrated game that has an assist trophy, and we won't see that generally because we don't tend to play with assist trophies. But it's from a game Japanese only called "The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls," and he transforms into a snake when he does that, and his voice is kind of cute, and he'll be like "Hippie" when he does it, and then he'll attack you as a little snake. Look up that game, underrated.
Very, very nice. Whatever makes makes that work for you. I have so much more boring ones because like Sadu, at this point, I feel like I just heard that as an insult a lot.
Oh,
Um,
Frieza energy. I see.
yeah. And then like Hebi, I used to watch like Naruto a lot as a
Oh,
kid,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. That does show.
even though I haven't watched it since studying Japanese, somehow that is where my mind goes to. Uh, I the brain works in wondrous ways. And then Zol always stuck with me because I'm like, why is this word so short for a big ass animal?
Big booty animal
That's
children.
that's all I got.
Cat's out of the bag. We say bad words sometimes. Shoot. Shimata.
Well, what you got? Sorry.
Sorry. All right. Yeah, but I think that'll do.
Well, bands voice. All right. So yeah, this was a fun little thing. Glad we got to sneak in some exercise. Once again, you're gonna want to make sure to be ready to buckle down for the next. We might not even call it a half day because it's not even following something that we've done. But I believe that the next day that we have scheduled is going over all of the verb groups and conjugations and breaking down how all that works.
Heavy.
So,
all right.
Yeah. So, but that'll be all for today.
All right, cool. That gives me some time to brace myself. Thank you for your time. You guys have a great one.
はい、またね。
またね。